Blessed be, guys and ghouls! With Beltane right around the corner, I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about this major pagan holiday. As you may or may not know, Beltane as well as Samhain make up the two most important of the 8 pagan Sabbats making up the wheel of the year. These are the times of the year when the veil between this world and the next are thin enough that beings can pass through into our own reality. Whereas Samhain is most well known by visitations from those who have come before us, Beltane is known for visitations of tricksters and fae folk. It is said that this is because Beltane marks the day when the Tuatha De Danann, also called the fae folk or the elven folk, first landed onto the Irish Isles. Beltane, also called May Day as it is known in the modern era, is usually celebrated on May 1st or November 1st in the southern hemisphere. It marks the halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. Beltane is usually celebrated to mark the peak period of spring and the first stirrings of summer, when cattle are traditionally herded out into pasture. Rituals were traditionally performed to protect people, cattle, and the new crops. Special bonfires, traditionally constructed of the 9 sacred woods, oak, ash, rowan, alder, willow, hazel, hawthorn, birch, and holly, were lit, and their ashes were known to have protective powers, which is why Beltane is known as the Fire Festival. People were known to jump over the bonfire or walk between 2 bonfires with their cattle in order to protect themselves for the year to come. All household fires would be doused only to be relit by the Beltane bonfire. The bonfire would be accompanied by a feast, a portion of which would be set aside for the fae folk. Doors, windows, and cattle were decorated with yellow flowers in order to protect them from the fae folk and their tricks. Maidens would roll around in the Beltane dew in order to promote beauty and youthfulness, as well as weaving flower crowns and giving rose quartz to their loved ones. Now, while women were traditionally making flower crowns, it was also an opportunity for men to construct green man masks out of leaves. Like all spring Sabbats, Beltane is a celebration of fertility. Where Ostara and Imbolc celebrate budding new life, Beltane, the last of the spring Sabbats, celebrates life at its fullest and marks the time when light and warmth return to the world. Again, a great way to think about this is it's the other side of the coin from Samhain. As Samhain honors the passing of those who have gone before us and the waning of life, Beltane revels in life and is a beacon of joy and jubilance. This is a time to honor life, passion, and sexuality. This is the time when the maiden form of the triple goddess and the green man or horned god are joined together in marriage, marking a time of love and fertility. Because of this, Beltane is a time to celebrate love and sexuality as a natural expression of life. It makes an excellent time to hold a hand fasting or get intimate with that certain someone the night prior, oft referred to as gone a-maying, traditionally by wandering into the woods to express your passions. Not that you can easily get away with that now. Nevertheless, this makes an especially good time if you're trying to conceive. Children who were conceived on Beltane were said to have been able to see and interact with the fae. However, disclaimer here, although this is a traditional aspect of Beltane, never ever do anything unless you are 110% positive that you are okay with it. Any expression of love, either romantic or platonic, are just as appropriate. Probably the most iconic symbol of Beltane is, of course, the maypole. This is the activity where ribbons are wrapped around a pole by dancers, often children or maidens, weaving in and out of each other. The pole, as a phallic symbol, was said to represent the god, whereas the flowers, usually adorning the top or the bottom of the pole, or even the earth that the pole was planted into, was said to represent the goddess, and the ribbons wrapping around the pole symbolized their unity. Here are some Beltane correspondences. The colors of Beltane are red, green, white, and silver. The stones are adventurine, emerald, rose quartz, and bloodstone. Herbs, in addition to the 9 sacred woods, are frankincense, tulips, dandelion, mint, rosemary, lilac, roses, and daisies. Foods are spring green, strawberries, cherries, oatcakes, honey, milk, mead, and bread. This is also a really great time to make your own dandelion wine, mead, or bake bread. One of my favorite Beltane recipes is rose petal scones. I made some last year, and even if you don't like floral foods, the rose flavor is really subtle, so I still would recommend it. I got the recipe from Llewellyn's 2018 Sabbath Almanac. I'll leave the recipe and a link to the book in the description down below. Thank you all so much for listening to me go on about Beltane. This really is a wonderful and joyous holiday, and even if you aren't pagan, I encourage all of you to add some of these traditions to your yearly celebrations. After all, who wouldn't want to dance around a maypole or spend time around a bonfire with your loved ones? What Beltane plans do you have this year? Do you have any traditions that you would like to share with the community? Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell, and leave a comment down below with any plans you have for the Sabbath. Stay spooky.